In recent years, you might have seen friends or influencers using the hashtag #HugeLife. They're probably pictured cuddled up reading a good book, sitting with a cozy blanket, or laughing with friends. Hygge does not have a direct English translation. It is a Scandinavian word that encapsulates a moment or a mood in which you feel especially cozy, charming, or warm. Why don't we have an English word for hygge? Well, it turns out that we don't have an English word for a lot of emotions and feelings. Feelings are hard enough to express in words that we know, but sometimes language makes it a little harder. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to some words that describe emotions that you may have felt before but haven't been able to correctly identify. While some of these words come from different languages, others come from the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. You might find yourself using these words to describe feelings that you didn't even know you had. Number 1 is saudades. Unfortunately, a lot of these words describe negative rather than positive emotions. Saudades is one of these words. It's Portuguese and describes a nostalgic longing for a person or a place that happens to be far away. You're more likely to experience saudades if you know that you will never see this person or this place again. Sehnsucht is a similar feeling of longing. What makes this German word so unique is that it describes a longing or nostalgia for a place that you've never been. Many people experience this sensation after canceling travel plans for 2020. Next up is gezelligheid. Gezelligheid is a Dutch word that describes the coziness and warmth within a group of people. Hygge is often experienced alone but may come about from a cozy blanket or a cup of cocoa. Gezelligheid is more than that. It's a feeling that you are loved, belong, and get along well with other people and the atmosphere in a room. Now, let's talk about klabieko. This is the first word on this list that comes from the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. Author John Koenig uses this word to describe a state of exhaustion that comes from observing acts of senseless violence. Again, this is another word perfect for 2020. Here's a fun fact about the word klabieko. It is also the name of the Shinto kami or holy power in the old Japanese religion. Klabieko is a scarecrow that cannot move but has awareness of what is going on around the world. Let's go back to more tender feelings with razbluto. Razbluto is a Russian word that describes the feeling you get for someone that you once loved. It's not a negative feeling per se. It's more of tender acceptance that you miss someone who's no longer in your life. Have you ever been so annoyed with someone that you lose all focus and concentration? Congratulations, you have felt fuselage. This is a German word that correctly encapsulates how many people feel while working in customer service or retail. Now, let's talk about gigil. When you see a baby or a puppy, you may experience gigil. This is actually a Filipino word for the feeling you get when you want to squeeze something that's just way too cute. And now for one of my favorites, schadenfreude. Let's say you see a cute puppy and a person that you don't like. You observe the cute puppy running away from that person that you don't like, and that person getting upset because of this. You feel a sense of joy in the fact that the puppy disappointed the person that you don't like. This is the feeling of schadenfreude. It's a German word that has encapsulated this feeling so well. It's made its way into Broadway musicals and American pop culture. It basically means feeling pleasure in someone else's pain. Next up is adronitis. So here's another word from the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. Adronitis is a feeling of frustration towards the amount of time it takes to get to know someone. Simultaneously, it's the wish that you could dive into a person's innermost thoughts first rather than sticking to small talk. I'm sure a lot of my viewers on this channel have experienced this at one point. If you've ever longed for the idea of stargazing with a stranger and exchanging your deepest secrets, you've experienced adronitis. Now we have grinjai. Sometimes these words do not have direct English translations because they're not an essential emotion within American or Western culture. Grinjai is a Thai word that describes the feeling of not wanting to impose. It is not just being considerate. You could also describe it as an anxiety behind ruffling someone's feathers or hurting anyone's feelings. Author Andrew Biggs says that Thais are very proud of their feeling of grinjai. it is inherent to the Thai psyche. And because there's no exact English translation, they have got it into their heads that foreigners, namely Europeans, don't possess this feeling of grinjai. Next up, we have Ikchirpak. When linguists discuss the diversity of language, they often bring up this fascinating tidbit. Inuits have 50 different words to describe snow. They also have one word to describe the feeling of anticipation when you know someone is right at your door. You know the feeling. You keep looking out the window or checking your Ring app to see if they have arrived. This is Ikchirpak. Next, we have list. List is a Czech word that describes the moment you witness your own misery, and you start to feel shame, agony, or torture. This is a poignant shame. Many describe it as wanting to take revenge against the source of your own sadness. And lastly, before we end this video, I want to let you in on something. I recently launched my largest, most ambitious project yet. It's called the 30-Day Brain Bootcamp. I've taken all of the best ideas and concepts of self-improvement that I've taught here on YouTube and distilled them into a 30-day program. This seems to be my one thing, the one thing I want to focus on. Real quick, let me go over the 4 weeks. Week 1 is the mindset module, where you'll learn everything about beliefs, changing your own identity, and mastering the mindset you need to take control of your life. Next up, we have Week 2, the social skills and dating module. And you better grab a chair because the stuff that's in here will change your life, I guarantee it. This thing is jam-packed with 7 days of the most powerful, potent content you've ever watched. You'll learn how to start and navigate any conversation, how to read body language effectively, and even how to properly flirt and eventually set up a date if you want to. I could go on and on about what you'll learn in Week 2, but hopefully, you have the idea. Week 3 is the personal efficiency module, which sounds really fancy, but it's basically all about productivity. From regulating your emotions and motivation to the psychological tricks of ordering your day, this week could be its own business course. Lastly, we have Week 4, the sales, persuasion, and money module. My own personal psychology of selling course is a 10-week course with hundreds of videos and thousands of students. But I've basically taken the best from it, including the copywriting hacks that I've used to build my own business, and put them into this module because I think everyone needs to understand the basics of sales and managing money. I also want to mention that all students get complete and total access to all of my previous courses: the psychology of attraction, the psychology of productivity, the psychology of beliefs, and the mega course, the psychology of selling. Now, this 30-day brain bootcamp is actually launching right now, and it's closing on Black Friday. There will be challenges, homework, and rewards, as well as a community to share your journey with. The pre-launch of this project went so amazingly that I'm throwing in some bonuses as well. But if you're interested in what those are, you'll have to click the link in the description below to see what they are. Enough of me explaining my passion project. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you've enjoyed learning about these interesting emotions. I'll see you in the next video. And if you found this video valuable, feel free to give a tip proportional to the value received. The link can be found in the description.